So this is my JetBoil Minimo. It is the stove to end all stoves. I've had it for the last 5 months and I have taken it out with me on over 10 different adventures. And in this 5-minute review, I'm going to explain to you why it's so brilliant, what's good, what's bad, and why ultimately I think you should pick one up too. Links to all the different versions of this item are down in the description below. But before we jump in on what I like about this stove, let me give you an overview of everything that comes in the package when you buy this stove from the store. The JetBoil Minimo is a portable gas stove made by JetBoil, and it weighs in at a whopping 493 grams. The stove itself comes with a brilliant rubber lid that has a well-crafted pouring lip so that you can easily pour water into mugs or into other containers. In that lid itself, there is a set of orange legs that you can attach to the bottom of your stove to steady your whole setup. These orange legs can be clipped between some internal grooving molded inside of the lid, which makes storage super convenient. At the bottom of the stove, you'll also find a small container that works really well as a small bowl or a mug. It also has milliliters running up the side of this container, which means it's super easy to accurately measure your water for cups of tea or just for cooking in general. Inside of the pot itself, you typically store your stove. Admittedly, it is quite a bulky stove compared to other options on the market, but I'd argue that this gives you a little bit more reassurance that this item is not going to fall over or break while you're cooking. You'll also find this pot support ring that comes with the item. Personally, I don't really use this converter because I just tend to cook everything inside the pot. I don't really bring a frying pan or kettle with me on hikes, but this item is super useful if you're going to take this stove on like a camping trip where you plan on cooking for multiple people, or if you just want to make a big pot of tea in the morning. So definitely keep track of where you put it. Okay, so that's a brief overview of everything that comes in this product when you purchase it. Now let's now talk about this product and why I think it's so awesome. Let's start off with the most important feature. This stove boils water wicked fast. The pot itself features a flux ring heat dispenser, which creates even heat distribution all across the pot, which all just means that the water inside this pot is boiled incredibly fast. And to top this all off, it does it super quietly. This is super useful if you are out camping with a group of people and want to make a strategic coffee in the morning without waking everybody else up. It's also nice because it just doesn't disrupt the hiking / camping environment that you're in. You can be peaceful, respectful, and you can just chill knowing that your stove isn't going to whistle when it boils or isn't going to sound like a spaceship taking off when it's finally ready to go. Another reason why I love this thing is the handle. You've seen me use it in all of my hiking and wild camping adventures. This small addition makes the whole thing more user-friendly, more fun to use because you can, easily hold the pot at any angle. The pot can easily be converted into a mug, or it's just a great place to hold the pot when you're cooking your favorite camp meal. It also means that you can pick it up once you've cooked your food and walk around without having to have the stove, without having to decant anything or move it from container to container. You can just pick up the pot and off you go. It's a small addition that makes the stove super secure, easy, and fun to use. Another reason why I love this stove is because of the cute little jacket that they've given it. This added material means that the stove stays warmer for longer once you have boiled it. But this jacket also acts as a little bit of protection for your hands once you've picked up the pot, which is a small thing but definitely makes a big difference after a long day of hiking. Another thing that I absolutely love is the way that the stove attaches to the pot extremely easily. Admittedly, it is a little bit tricky when you first get your hands on it, but once you've got your head wrapped around how to use the locking mechanism, it definitely has given me at least a lot more confidence that my food or water isn't going to fall over once I've boiled it in the pot. It also means that I can quickly move the whole setup if I'm suddenly hit by wind or rain, or if somebody just needs to get by me. I don't need to worry about things all detaching itself as I move it. I know that it's a single entity, it's one piece. Once I've built it all, it's not going to fall apart, so I can just quickly get it out of the way as and when I need it to. Again, sounds like a small thing, but I absolutely love that feature. I know that in comparison to other stoves on the market that this setup is considered maybe a bit more of a bulkier option, but personally I am absolutely fine with this item's weight and size. I'd personally rather something that's a little bit bigger, a little bit bulkier, because I know that it's less likely to fall over, less likely to break down, and just less likely to surprise me on a trip. And to be perfectly honest, I never even considered this a bulky item until you start comparing it to other things on the market, which just means that it's like contextually bulky. Whenever I've taken it on an adventure and I've put it in the back of my backpack, I've never felt that it's too big. I've never felt that it's, too heavy. It's just right. It's just contextual that it's bulky. It's actually a super light item, and it's amazing to be able to have a stove and a pot for, under 500 grams. And it will definitely not be leaving my backpack anytime soon. But all of that being said, there is one thing I would improve. I wish the actual stove top itself was a little bit thinner so that I could put in my big gas canisters inside of the pot and just store it all as one entity in my backpack. Currently I have to have my gas canisters separate from the stove itself in my backpack. I do use the bigger gas options, but that's because I'm doing multiple day hikes usually when I use this item. Arguably I could use a smaller gas canister, but that isn't really an option for me, and I'm sure there's other people out there like me who don't really want to compromise on the amount of gas they have in case they need it to, I don't know, stay warm, make tea or cook, because that would be the worst thing, is to run out of gas out on an adventure and suddenly you can't cook any of your freeze-dried meals. That would be a nightmare. So yeah, if I could improve this item, I would make the stove top smaller, and I would just make it so that I could store a bigger gas canister inside the pot itself. So guys, obviously the price point for this stove is obviously quite high. I think currently it retails for around £130. So it is an expensive stove. If you've got the money and you're in the market for a stove of this caliber, then I'd really recommend that you invest in this stove specifically. It's got great size, great functionality, super quick at boiling, super sturdy. It's really well made and has some great functions and features. You've seen me use it in the last few hiking adventures I've gone on. It's just a huge recommendation from me. If you're on the fence, then go for it. And I'd really recommend buying it through Amazon. You can buy it for a bit, test it out. If you like it, you can keep it. If you don't, you can easily return it, and they'll even pay for your return. Links to the black JetBoil Minimo that I have is down in the description below, but also I've linked a blue version and an orange version down there too. I've also, just for fun, I've put in another secret link to an item that costs £5 that will dramatically improve your wild camping and hiking, kitchen, food eating, cooking experience. It's an item that I've had for a long while now, and it's done me really well, and it's super cheap. So definitely have a look at that link down there too. But yeah, guys, that's it. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope to see you again in another video very, very soon.